The rain fell in relentless sheets, turning the small, forgotten town into a graveyard of drowned whispers and broken prayers. Mercy Hollow. That was what the place was called, though the name had always felt like a cruel joke to those who lived there. Nothing about the town had ever felt merciful. Instead, it carried the weight of tragedies stacked on top of each other like the rotting beams of its abandoned church. I was drawn there by accident or maybe fate. My name is Eliza Turner, and I never believed in ghosts until the night I stepped inside Mercy Hollow. It started with a letter, yellowed with age, slipped under my apartment door with no return address. Just 2 words scrawled in shaky handwriting. Help her. Inside was a faded photograph of a young girl, no older than 13, with pale skin and haunting eyes that seemed to follow me. On the back was written, Mercy Hollow, 1987. I should have ignored it, but the girl's eyes pulled me in. Something about her sorrow gnawed at my chest until I couldn't breathe. I had to know who she was, what had happened. The town was nearly abandoned when I arrived, the streets empty, the houses slouching with decay, their windows shattered like gaping mouths. Only a few locals remained, hollow-eyed and tight-lipped, their stares following me with suspicion. When I asked about the girl in the photograph, every conversation ended the same way, silence and a quick retreat. It was as though I had uttered something forbidden, something cursed. The old inn was the only place that would take me in, run by a frail woman named Agnes. She gave me a single key, her hands trembling as she pressed it into my palm. If you came here searching, she whispered, her voice thin and cracking, leave before night falls. Mercy remembers and mercy punishes. That night, as the storm rolled over the town, I sat by the flickering lamp in my room, staring at the photograph. I whispered into the shadows. Who are you? The lamp sputtered, the glass rattling as if something had breathed against it. Then, faintly from the far corner of the room, I heard it. A voice.
Soft. Childlike.
Help me. I froze, the hair on my arms lifting. My breath caught in my throat. Slowly, I turned toward the corner, but it was empty. Only peeling wallpaper and a cracked dresser stood there.
Yet the air had changed.
It smelled of damp earth and iron, like freshly turned graves. I hardly slept that night. By morning, I knew I had to dig deeper. The town library was little more than dust and mildew, its shelves collapsing under years of neglect. But in the back, I found what I didn't know I was looking for, an article clipped from an old newspaper, dated 1987. Local girl dies in church fire. Arson suspected. Her name was Mercy Harper. The article described how she had been locked inside the church after dark. The townsfolk claimed it was an accident, but rumors spread of strange rituals, of sacrifices made to keep the town safe from something darker. They said her screams had been heard for miles as the fire consumed her. And when they found her body, her hands were clawed into the floorboards, as if she had begged for mercy. I slammed the newspaper shut, my chest tight. The girl in the photograph. The girl whispering in my room. Mercy Harper. That night, I went to the ruins of the church. The skeletal remains of its walls clawed at the night sky, blackened with jutting like broken teeth. My flashlight beam cut through the dust and ash as I stepped inside. The silence was suffocating, pressing in from every direction. And then I heard it again. Help me. The beam of my flashlight quivered as my hand shook. I followed the voice deeper into the wreckage until I reached the altar, or what was left of it. The floorboards here were scorched, but I saw something carved into them beneath the soot. I wiped it clean with my sleeve, my breath catching as the letters revealed themselves. No mercy. My heart pounded. Before I could move, the temperature dropped, my breath puffing in white clouds. Behind me, wood creaked. I turned, and she was there. A girl in a scorched white dress, her skin pale and blistered, her eyes wide pools of sorrow and rage. Her hair clung in wet strands to her face, her lips cracked and bloodied. She reached a trembling hand toward me. Please, she whispered, her voice broken. They trapped me. They burned me. Free me. I staggered back, but something stronger than fear rooted me in place.
How?
I whispered. Her head tilted, the movement unnatural, her neck creaking like a snapped branch. Mercy must be given to those who took mine. And then she vanished. I stumbled out of the church, my body shaking, my mind a storm of questions and terror. Mercy wasn't just haunting this town. She was demanding justice. The next days blurred together in fragments of whispers and shadows. Every night she came to me, her presence growing stronger. She showed me visions of the past, the townsfolk chaining the church doors shut, their eyes cold as her screams pierced the night. Agnes was there. Others too, faces lined with guilt and fear. It wasn't just cruelty. It was sacrifice. They had believed Mercy's suffering would keep something worse at bay. But the evil hadn't left. It had only changed shape. On the fourth night, I confronted Agnes. Her frail frame seemed to collapse under the weight of my accusations, her voice shaking. "We did it to save the town," she croaked. "We gave her to the fire because the hollow demanded blood. If we hadn't, it would have been all of us. You don't understand. Mercy wasn't the only one screaming that night." My stomach turned. "You murdered her." Tears welled in her clouded eyes. "And now she won't stop. She'll never stop." That night, the haunting became unbearable. Doors slammed, windows shattered, my room filled with the stench of smoke and burning flesh. Mercy appeared again, closer than ever, her blackened hands reaching for me. "Help me," she begged, her eyes glowing with fire. "Set me free." But freedom had a price. She wanted me to finish what she could not, to bring vengeance to those who had betrayed her. The choice ripped at me. I had come here out of pity, out of compassion. But now I was tangled in her rage, bound by her demand. The final night came with a storm fiercer than before, lightning clawing at the sky as if the heavens themselves were warning me away. The townsfolk gathered in the inn, their faces pale, their eyes darting toward the church ruins as screams echoed through the hollow. I saw her then, not the girl, but something darker. Her form twisted, her skin peeling in layers of smoke and ash, her voice shrieking through every wall, every heart. "Mercy!" the townsfolk cried. "Mercy!" But there was none. The storm tore through the town as Mercy's fire spread again, flames devouring the church, the inn, the houses one by one. And in the chaos, she came to me, her burned face inches from mine. "Now you see," she whispered. "Mercy is never given, only taken." When the storm cleared, Mercy Hollow was nothing but ashes. And I was the only one left. But sometimes, in the dead of night, when the wind howls through broken glass, I hear her still. "Help me."